inspired. I'm so excited. I'm so motivated. Words that, of course, I love. And I am, yes, inspired and motivated. And I look up to other people and respect other people. But I always ask myself this question, Rowie, if they didn't exist, if there were the people that you are inspired by, that motivate you, that have done the things that you want to do, if they hadn't done those things, would you still do your stuff? And those three really big questions for me are, Rowie, are you self-motivated, self-inspired, self-disciplined, and I always add on there self-educated, because if you want to achieve something, you have to learn how to do it. Now, a lot of the people in my life, business people, musicians, elite athletes, people who have achieved great stuff, yes, they inspire me and they make me believe that it's possible, because there's that great expression, if they can do it, I can do it, it's just a matter of how. But what if you've got an idea that nobody's ever done before? What if you want to do something that nobody has ever achieved before? What if somebody tells you you can't because nobody's ever done it before? See, I'm a big fan of sports people, and one of the big things that I love about top-level sports people is they inspire little kids that it's possible. But someone like Ronaldo, for example, who's my favourite football player, who inspired him? He will tell you that he had a driving force come from the inside. And that's my question. What is your driving force? What's your reason for wanting to do whatever it is that you want to do? And I don't care what it is. I just want you to do it. And the reason for that, it's a very selfish reason. There are so many miserable, grumpy people in the world who seem so angry about life or disappointed in life, or they've accepted average. And I can never understand that, because there's so many ways to make things happen, do the things that you want to do. But a lot of people have just given up. Maybe they look at the inspirational people and go, well, I'm not that good looking, or I'm not that talented, or I'm not that smart, or I haven't got that skill, so I can't do that. So the people then that I really admire, I really respect, are the people that were told you can't do it because you're too tall, too short, too ugly, too old, you don't have enough skill, you don't have enough talent, you just can't do it. And they go and do it anyway. Those people are really inspirational. But once again, what if there were no people like that and you had an idea and everybody told you that you couldn't do it? Would you still go and do it? And these are just very personal questions, because Romax is about, if I wrap it all up, it's about being happy. Because if you are healthy, fit and strong, so your brain's full of happy chemicals, it can't be unhappy. If you've got a career or business, not just that you love, but who you are and what you do are the same thing, is it possible that you wake up every day with a purpose? And the psychologists and psychiatrists will often not use the word happy. They're a bit nervous of that word. But they'll always share that people with a purpose are less likely to be depressed, more likely to feel satisfied and rewarded with their life. If you're financially free, I don't think that makes you happy, of course, because there's lots of very wealthy people that are very miserable. But could life be easier if you have freedom and choice? And that's what I love about wealth creation, what I love about money and financial freedom, is that you can choose. And I always use the examples. You can choose to build your own business, or you can choose to work for somebody else if you are financially free. But if you have to go to work to do a lousy, stinking, rotten job to pay your lousy, stinking, rotten bills, there's not a lot of freedom there. And that's the other reason that the psychologists and psychiatrists suggest that people are unhappy, is they don't have a purpose and they feel like they're not in control of their life. And is it possible that if you've got somebody telling you when to go to work and when you can have lunch and when you can go on holidays and how much money you can earn, that you don't feel like you're in control of your life? So if you compare yourself, and this is where the interesting question comes, it's been suggested again by the experts, the behavioural scientists, psychologists, psychiatrists, that we will be very similar to or the same as the 5 people that we invest, spend or waste the most time with. So that's why I'm sharing this wall with you. On this wall are people who I call my inner circle. These are people who have achieved in business, they've achieved in sport, they've achieved in music, they've achieved in the arts, and they are my circle of influence, because for me they're proof that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. And again, most of these people were told you can't do it, it's never going to work for you, you're too old, too young, too fat, too skinny, too untalented, all that stuff. So this circle of influence, that the people I have around me, are proof that I can do it. I'm married to a person who doesn't know the word can't, doesn't know the word impossible, doesn't know the word grumpy, doesn't know the word depressed. We're just this happy little bubble of happiness. And I share that with a little bit of sarcasm because both of us get accused on a daily basis that you can't be happy all the time. But as I always share, if you are healthy, fit and strong and your brain's full of happy chemicals, how can you be unhappy? If you have a career or business that you love and you've got a purpose, according to the psychologist, you're more likely to be, or less likely to be depressed. I'll share that again. If you're financially free, you're less likely to have the hassle that a lack of money will often bring into your life. And then the people that you attract into your life, your circle of influence, is it more likely that you'll attract great people into your life if you are a disciplined, focused, committed person who has passion and purpose and you want to do something that's going to add value to either other people's lives or your own, or a combination of both. So this comparing myself to other people, this I need to be inspired by other people, I wish I could have what other people have got. There's a big difference between that looking outside and looking on the inside and saying, okay, what do I want? Why do I want it? Where do I want it? When do I want it to happen? How will I feel if it does happen? How will I feel if it doesn't happen? If I was my own personal coach to make this happen, what advice would I give myself? And then the last question is, what help do I need? So do I need to be inspired by a book, by an elite athlete, by a podcast, by a YouTube channel, by a seminar, a conference? Do I need something to inspire me, or do I need to get self-inspired? And here's another great question. Do you want to be the person who does the inspiring, or do you need to be inspired? Now, there's a lot of connection there because everything that I've ever learned has come from somebody else, obviously. So everything I've learned, everything I've studied, everything that inspires me, everything I do every day has come from somebody else. But I've adapted it to what I want. And that's why I ask those questions. What do you want? Why do you want it? Where do you want it to happen? When do you want it to happen? How will you feel if it does? How will you feel if it doesn't? What advice would you give yourself to make sure that it does happen? And then, do you need some help? Do you need some inspiration, education? And I always use that expression again, self-educated, because there's plenty of books and there's plenty of seminars and there's plenty of people to meet and there's plenty of people who will help you. But once again, is it possible that the people who have done what you want to do will be very happy to help you if you've done everything you possibly can on your own? So do you need to be inspired, or are you self-inspired? Do you need to be motivated, or are you self-motivated? Do you hope that somebody pays for your education, or are you self-educated? Do you want somebody to hold you accountable, or are you self-disciplined? And then the people around you, rather than comparing yourself to them, because the dangerous thing there, of course, is if you compare yourself to somebody else and you think you're better than them, doesn't that come across as arrogant? Yuck. And if you compare yourself to somebody else and you think you're not good enough, is it possible then that you give up? And a lot of people do share that with me. I'm just too short, or I'm too tall. I just can't do it. It's not possible for me. I've come from the wrong cultural background, or I can't be as good as him. He's too good looking. And that there's all these excuses. I call them excuses for not achieving, because I'm comparing myself to other people. And even if you are a twin, you are completely different. You are a unique, beautiful individual person who has skills and talents and gifts, and what I always call genius. Everybody's got a genius. Now, some people have a genius to drive a race car really fast. Some people have a genius to get into a ring and fight really hard. Some people have the genius to kick a football. Some people have the genius to start a business. Some people can sing. Some people can play the drums. Some people can create new things from nothing. Some people can manage people beautifully. We've all got a genius. There's, depending on who you talk to and which expert you listen to, there's anywhere between 9 and 16 geniuses. We've all got one inside us. But are we holding it in because we're comparing ourselves to other people, or are we holding it in because somebody said we couldn't do it, or are we going to bloody let it out and become the exact person that you want to be? And I always ask that question, who is that? Because at 18 years of age, I made a very strong and firm commitment that I've lived by. Rowie, who are you? And the 5 words I chose were tough and fair, positive, stylish, disciplined and professional. I attached those 5 words to my 5 fingers, and I've taken those 5 fingers with me through my whole life and lived that person. As I always share, it makes you a little bit lazy because I don't have to make decisions anymore. All I ask myself is, what would a tough and fair, positive, stylish, disciplined and professional person do? And then I go and do it, which means I don't have to be comparing myself to other people, I don't have to go, well, if he can do it and he's better looking than me, well, I can't do it. That's not how it ever works. This is who I am. This is what I stand for. These are my core values. These are my standards. This is what I would die for. And they're always the questions that I ask. Do you know those things about yourself? And if yes, just go live that person. Yes, be inspired. I go to musical concerts and I'm so inspired by people that can create great music. It makes my heart sing. I look at beautiful art or a beautiful fast car and the energy and passion and enthusiasm that went into creating that car. I love going to Formula One, for example. I love watching elite sports people who are really good at what they do. I love it. I'm never going to play rugby league, but I love going to a top-level rugby league game and watching the experts do their thing. That inspires me to do my thing. So rather than compare yourself to other people, be inspired by other people's stuff so that you go and do your stuff and make every day the day that you're living your life to the max. Thank you for coming to Romax. My name's Rowie, and I would love you to live your life to the max. So that you can sing every day like I do. Super duper doo, how are you? I am just amazing and happy and healthy and fit and strong because I choose to be. Woo! Ha ha!